Shalom, shalom, family, and welcome back. This is Brother Maurice. I have a question to you. Do you want many friends? We are made to believe the only people that we should be friendly with and deal with are those who are just like us. And when I say just like us, only those that believe the way we believe. And then just forget the rest of the world. Forget them. Now, I'm going to read from the Restored Version of Matthew chapter 5. I'm going to read verse number 43 through 45. It says, "You have heard that it hath been said of your leaders, that ye shall love your neighbor who is like unto you, and believe as you believe, and that ye should hate your enemy, and cast them out from among you, even he that does not believe as ye believe, that ye be not misled by the hand of an enemy." Verse 44 says, "But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them who despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may become the children of your Father who is in heaven, who is no respecter of persons. For he maketh the sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and the unjust, all being his beloved children." Did you hear that last part? It says all being his beloved children. The righteous and the wicked, all being his beloved children. Now back to the initial question. I was reading the Third Testament, chapter 60, verse number 70. And as I read this first part, the first sentence was a question. And I paused for a brief second and I answered in my mind. And it says, "I have told you, do you want to have many friends?" And after I read that, I immediately stopped and I just said, "Oh, heck no." And then I continued to read. And when I continued to read, I realized I have a heart problem and I had to pray about my issue. And this is what it says. I'm going to start at the beginning. "I have told you, do you want to have many friends? Then make use of kindness, cordiality, forbearance, and mercy." Listen, "For only with the help of these virtues will your spirit be able to shine in the path of your neighbor, since they are all direct expressions of love. For the spirit contains love in its innermost being, since it is the divine spark, and God is love." Let's go to Proverbs chapter 24, verse number 17. It says, "Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbles." Did you hear that? Today, as things are happening and people are watching, and they carry this book called the Bible, and they rejoice in the fall of the ones they call their enemies. They rejoice in it. Some of them even pray for it. But that's not what it says to do in the scriptures. In a previous video, I mentioned that the Bible is used for righteousness, and it can also be used for wickedness. It all depends, family, where your heart is. Let's continue with Proverbs 25, verse number 21. It says, "If thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat. And if he be thirsty, give him water to drink." Let's go to the book of remembrance of Melchizedek in little book number 2. And it says, "And they shall be responsible." This is the people that get this word, because they must pass it on to the next generation. "And they shall be responsible to remember, even as the listeners of old, the light and truth that they have received, and which carried them through their tribulation times. Did you see this? This light, this love is what is going to carry us through the tribulation times. Let's continue. And they will see with clarity and hear with sound judgment. To speak my words to all the brokenhearted and forlorn. Because after my arm is revealed, when all flesh will behold my presence in creation, Babylon will fall, leaving no remnant. And all who depend on her, all who depend on Babylon, will need compassion from my elect, even to the extent that they will receive it. So the elect are going to be the ones that are going to be able to give compassion to those from Babylon. If you don't consider them your friends, if you're not trying to deal with them and show love and compassion to them, how can you show compassion to them after the Father's arm is revealed? We got to get our hearts fixed, because a lot of us are working for Satan in our ignorance. A lot of us have the wrong characteristics inside of us. Let's go to the sealed portion, chapter 74, verse number 49. It says, therefore, love your neighbor. Now listen to this next part. A lot of you will disagree with it because of your heart. And do good to those who are following the plan of Lucifer. Let me repeat that. Therefore, love your neighbor and do good to those who are following the plan of Lucifer and creating unhappiness for themselves. Do not condemn them, but love them. For they shall bring upon themselves their own condemnation, according to that which I have told you, even at the time that they shall see the Lord in his glory, and hear the law of the Father from his own mouth. This law of the gospel is very important, because the law teaches us, family, to love and conduct ourselves with love. Let's go to the sealed portion, chapter 18, verse number 21. It says, therefore, the law of the gospel is the most important law that the children of men can learn during their days of probation. And it was this law that Jesus taught unto his disciples and unto the people. This is on the Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes, found in Matthew chapter 5, 6, and 7. And it was this law that his disciples were commanded to teach, even unto the people after he was gone. And it is by the law of the gospel that Jesus taught that all the children of God are saved. Did you hear that, family? Now I'm going to read the law of Jeshurun. I'm going to read the second law, because it gives more clarity. And this shows the spiritual side of this law. And the second law is like unto it, being the first. And it is that you with fervent desire always want your neighbor to see and hear and feel with our father Anokoseed. Anokoseed is the one they call God, and it means I am loving kindness. So that they may dwell also in the midst of their Father in heaven. And you require of yourself to interact with them in all these ways, even as our Father Anokoseed does. Let me leave one more thing with you. Romans chapter 12, verse 17 and 18. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. If it is possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. I love you, family, and I pray that you are able to receive this message. Shalom, shalom, family.